London-based AI firm Builder.ai files for bankruptcy after its neural network is exposed as 700 Indian engineers in a trench coat.
So
Oh, it's
I'm
so
going
good.
to, because this is my show, I'm going to tell a historical story because this is fun. Back in 1770, Wolfgang von Kempelen unveiled something called the mechanical Turk. This was an automaton that could play chess. It played chess against Napoleon. It played chess against Benjamin Franklin. And this clockwork machine was able to beat Benjamin Franklin at chess and beat Napoleon at chess. In fact, it beat most people at chess. And he would open it up and there'd be all these gears. He'd do this big show of winding it. And it was all of the talk of Europe. Well, eventually it caught on fire and it turned out there was a dude inside the whole time. There's 3 children in a trench coat. But that was like 50 years later. So for 50 years, he had this scam, basically, where it was interesting because people thought it was a machine, that it was an automaton, when in reality, it was a person. And that's exactly what this British AI company has done. So the Europeans have lagged way behind. The joke in AI world is that this is really a battle between America and China. And the only thing that Europe excels in is regulating AI. It's not actually good at building AI models or founding AI companies. Mistral, which is, I think, the leading AI model out of Europe, isn't particularly good. The only thing, I don't even think it's better at French than the other American AIs or Chinese AIs are at French.
Which is hilarious.
It's one job. It's like be good at French, and it's not even as good at French as the American models. But they really want to be competitive, and so this company created a model. It wasn't working, and so they would hire Indians to write code to cover for the fact that their machine learning algorithm wasn't actually generating good code. So, why is this potentially a sign of a bubble? Well, they got millions, I think maybe hundreds of millions of dollars from Microsoft. I don't remember exactly the number, but it was like some insane
$455 million.
That's a lot of money.
So much money.
and the reason why it's a sign of a bubble potentially is that most people, when you buy a house, if you've ever bought a house, what do you do before you buy the house? You get the house inspected, right? You hire an inspector who goes and makes sure that the house is what it says it is, and it's not about to fall into a sinkhole or something. This is called due diligence in the business world. And if you're going to do that for a $500,000 house, or if you live in California, a $2 million shack, you would think that Microsoft would do this for a $450 million investment. But they didn't, because we're in a little bit of a frothy market right now where money is just being thrown around willy-nilly. I heard a statistic that corporate America has spent roughly $1 trillion on AI collectively. So it's not all one company. It's not all one investment. But that's a lot of money going into AI. And some of it is just going pop. Now, this was a failed technology. They failed to make the technology work. So I don't think that this is a true sign of a bubble, other than fraud, especially this kind of fraud, is a warning sign. So this is like a yellow flag on the railroad.
Well, you have people trying to catch up, is what's happening. And you can get money back. You can't get time back. And this is the time to make your mark with AI. This is the beginning. We talked about getting that market share, getting your permanent lifetime customers right now. And so everyone is desperate to get there, especially the people that are lagging behind. I mean, $455 million, Microsoft will make that easily just by releasing a new product or updating a product or forcing you to do something with your subscription. But they cannot get the time back in order to take advantage of this explosive time to be first, to be the service that people are going to use. Because, I mean, if the other services have AI tools and Microsoft doesn't, people are going to leave Word. People are going to leave Microsoft's tools that are suddenly not usable anymore because ChatGPT is so much better.
I mean, that's what we were talking about last week, about people leaving Google. And I actually did a test of comparing DMCA registration. So I typed in those 2 words into Google, and the first 2 results are almost scam sites. offering to do for you for hundreds of dollars what you could do for yourself for $6 if you just went to the government website yourself. I took those same 2 words, typed them into ChatGPT, and it wrote up a wonderful page on how to do it yourself and included a link to the .gov website where you can do it yourself. It's like, that is why AI is winning, because the fraud and the kind of the cheating and fraud's too strong of a word, really, but it's that kind of sketchy, right? It's like what these companies are doing isn't illegal. It's not even lying. They're like, hey, we'll do this service for you. They're just withholding key information of you could do the service yourself for $6. And the AI is like, hey, you could do this yourself for $6. Click here, and I'll even walk you through exactly what to write in each one of the fields. And that is why people are moving away. And I will say Microsoft does have other products that are good at coding. So what Builder.ai failed at, Microsoft has invested in other projects that are succeeding at. In fact, it just open sourced a major coding tool. Now, an interesting thing that I saw a study on was the impact of AI on wages.
Yeah.
So what do you think the impact of AI on wages has been? It's actually been wages or jobs with exposure to AI, the wages have gone up on average by as much as 50%. And this is across a whole bunch of different fields. And this is actually not a surprise if you understand how technology works. This always happens when a new technology hits an industry. The people who have jobs in that industry get paid more money because they're able to do more work. So a farmer with a tractor makes more money than a farmer with a hoe, right? Like that makes sense, right?
It's a productivity. You can produce more.
Now, the other thing is that the farmer with the tractor is able to replace farmers with hoes, right? 1 man with a tractor can do the work of 10 men with hoes. And so those 9 men stop working on the farm and they have to find jobs to do for the farmer. Now, it turns out that working on a farm is awful, and doing a job for a farmer is often better than doing the farming itself. So all value ultimately is derived from farmers. So that they're like at the very bottom, and we've built this whole society on top of the backs of the farmers. But none of the society would happen if we didn't have food, right? You're 3 meals away from the end of civilization at any given time. And this report from PwC listed a whole bunch of different jobs. And it's interesting, they had education on here. Educators with exposure to AI make 40% more. Agriculture makes about 40% more. The biggest impact was wholesale, retail, and trade. We'll link to this in the blog version of the episode. But in some ways, people are acting like this is revolutionary. But it's like, well, this is what's happened every time there's a new technology. It causes the people who are using that technology to make more money and to be more productive.